Yeah, I may have to do the other thing. What is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Tripp, and welcome to the Game According to Me. This is my first podcast using Anchor.fm, and we are going to have a lot of fun here. The podcast will be longer. The podcast will be maybe more effective for you. So this is so interesting, and I thank so much for Anchor FM to be around so that we can use this as a podcasting home. Um, so for those of y'all who are new to this podcast, let me tell you what is going to be going on in this podcast. Um, we are going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about um, football, college, and pro. Where when the football season is around, we're going to be talking about Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball season is going on. We're going to be talking about that. We are going to be talking about the NBA as the NBA just finished. NBA Finals just finished. We're going to get into that a little bit later. We're going to talk about the NBA and a little bit of college basketball, more or less when it comes down to March Madness. When it comes down to March Madness, we'll talk about that. We are going to we're not I'm not a big hockey fan, so we're not talking about hockey here, not talking about a lot of the other sports unless something big happens. There's something big has something big did happen with a kind of a controversial thing happened with the women's soccer. We'll get into that later as well. um, but really it's going to be about pro and college football, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and of course professional wrestling, the WWE, and some of the things around, talking about in the world of professional wrestling. So all of that is going to be happening on this podcast. So if you are a lover of sports and you are a lover of professional wrestling, this will be the place that you will be able to get your nonstop action for this. Um, Also for my hardcore listeners who have been with me over on Spreaker, um, this now becomes from a monthly recording to a bi-weekly recording. And as of right now, it looks like it's going to be every other Saturday. So the next one will be June 29th. So you're going to make sure that you're going to want to be here for that. So yeah, we're now doing it bi-weekly, and I think that this could end up being something that will end up, the reason why I wanted to change from Spreaker is I want the Spreaker. I could not. I was doing the free version, and I just ended up being 15 minutes, and I kind of thought that maybe 15 minutes it wasn't being enough. It wasn't being enough for me because I wanted to maybe delve deeper into some topics, but I couldn't because I wanted to get into every topic that to talk about. So with this one, I can have um, as much I can go as long as I want to. Seeming like that when I record in the browser, which I'm doing right now, is going to be only 30 minutes. But if I can use some other applications to do my recording, then I can do longer episodes. And so with this first episode, maybe with the first couple episodes, I'll just do the browser and see how that works. And if it looks like that I was getting close to that 30 minutes, then then I'll start doing longer episodes. But yeah, but I think this is going to be where I don't expect to be anything less than 20 minutes um, most of the time, unless they are like really, because we could have a point where there are some things happening maybe like July, where and in August where there might not be enough, so we may be under 20, but I would assume that we are at least going to be 20 minutes each one, and that's going to be my goal, is to make the podcast at least 20 minutes, and then like I said, if in the first couple of podcasts I see that I am going to get towards that, I'm going to get towards that that 30, that 30 thing, and I have to like start to try to break it up. Then I'll start using other ones and start using longer podcasts. So that's how this is going to work right now. So while we're at it, also one thing about Anchor also is that now they give me the option for support. So if you want to support your boy, you can you can now support me either by being a 99-cent contributor, a $4.99 contributor, or a $9.99 contributor. It does not matter how you want to support me. Any support you give me is totally fine. I just appreciate the fact that you would want to support your boy. Um, so yeah, and it's so good. So the link will be somewhere. The link is on my Anchor page. So you make sure that you go to my Anchor page and you check that out. If there is a description part of this thing, it will be in the description box. I'll make sure to put that there as well. So absolutely. So and I, maybe what I'll do is maybe I'll talk a little bit about myself before we actually get into, because we really should only talk about the NBA finals, and NBA playoffs. So maybe I can talk a little bit about myself. Maybe for those of y'all new listeners, again, the ones that are returning, they know a little bit about me, but I'll talk a little bit more. I am AJ Tripp, and like I said, I am a big, huge fan. Football and wrestling are like my 1A, 1B. Then we go to basketball, and then baseball. And I am a huge sports fanatic. I love the game of football and basketball. Baseball it's okay. Um, I am a Cubs fan. I'm doing this from Chicago, so my teams are the Cubs, the Bears, the Bulls. Um, I'm not a hockey fan, so I don't care about the Blackhawks, and I don't particularly care for the Sox either. So, but that's just me. As I'm a huge wrestling fan, I have a YouTube channel, and I think I will probably put that in the link as well. Um, where I have a wrestling show where it's just wrestling. It's called That's a Shoot. And actually, I just uploaded a video today about that, where it's about why the WWE isn't as bad as people say it is. So make sure you go over to my YouTube channel. Again, if there's a description box, I will put that in the description box so that you guys can go and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I am also a gamer, so I have a Twitch channel. Again, I will put that in the description box so that you can go. If you are a gamer as well, you can go and follow me on Twitch. So my goal is to hopefully with the hopes of this podcast, the game according to me, with the hope of my YouTube channel and the hope of my Twitch channel, that I will be able to be a content creator of some sorts and be able to make a living that way. So. Um, yeah. So again, if you want to support me, anything helps out. I appreciate it. And make sure that you always are like sharing my podcast and everything like that. Share it with your friends and family if they like sports, if they're sports fanatics. So yes, please let's share this. Let's do this big time. So we are about 9 minutes into this. So as always, let's go ahead and let's jump right into it because it's the NBA, and this is what was happening. The playoffs have been awesome. At least in my opinion, I think we've had some great games. We've had some great series. We had that epic shot. for the Raptors with Kawhi Leonard and the four bounces and he going in and the shot that somebody took with Kawhi Leonard was like kneeling and it was just that was a fantastic shot. We've had some great playoff series. I think we've also and this last one, the NBA Finals was just incredible. We also had some unfortunateness when it comes to the Warriors. They did not three-peat, but you know, they got Kevin Durant was injured. Listen, if Kevin Durant was healthy, this was I think they would have beaten the Raptors without question. Because without Kevin Durant, they were able to do some things on Steph Curry that they wouldn't have been able to do without Kevin Durant. So, and I think that that hurt them, and then the Raptors. Let's also give the Raptors credit. The Raptors, they really just all series long, they just shot the hell out of the ball. They shot the hell out of the ball like it was nothing, and they were just magnetic and absolutely incredible with it. Um, from downtown and from mid range, wherever. They seemed like they were just always hot. Seemed like nobody was really off their game. So so they had a tremendous series. Usama Jiri, who traded for the Kawhi Leonard in the offseason, giving up DeMar DeRozan, the major name for the Toronto Raptors, giving him up to get Kawhi Leonard basically for 1 year because everybody thought they didn't have a chance to win. Everybody thought they didn't have a chance to win, not only win the championship, but win the East. We all thought maybe Boston were going to be better. Philly would be maybe their team, but not Toronto. And they proved us all wrong. So now the question will be, there's two questions. One, not only will Kawhi Leonard stay in Toronto, but how about the GM? Because now there are rumors that the Washington Wizards are going to offer Usama Ujiri $10 million per year and stake in the ownership to come do to Washington what he's done with Toronto. So it's going to be very interesting offseason. And also, it's going to be offseason now is that now we look at the Warriors who lost and they've won 3 out of the last 5 championships. You're not questions about is their story over? Is their dynasty over? And I don't know. We'll have to see what happens in the offseason because more than likely both Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson, who tore his ACL in Game 6 after being Game 6 Klay all day. They have now, they look like that they will not play next year. Um, there's probably a chance that Klay could come back for the playoffs, although you would think that they probably wouldn't do that if they even make the playoffs. And I think that there's a possibility that they could make the playoffs in a lower seed, like a 6, 7, or 8 season. But that's depending on the health of Curry and Draymond, and again, and if they keep Cousins as well, because they could keep Cousins, and Cousins could get back and be in his dominant form because he was coming off an Achilles and he's coming off also a quad tear of sorts. So there could be many things that are happening with the Warriors, and we also need to see are they going to give max contracts to Klay and KD, and will they take them, or will they go out and do look for their own things? I think Klay would take it. I think Klay wants to stay in Golden State without question. He wants to stay. He just wants to be respected. So if you give him the 5-year max deal, he's going to take it. Now KD, on the other hand, Kevin Durant, he wants to probably do his own thing, right? He probably wants to, do his own thing. He has all of these other ventures. I think he even calls it 35 ventures. So He wants to do these other things. So it's going to be interesting to see what he goes, because there's a lot of people saying before this that he was gone and he was going to the Knicks. But now, after tearing his Achilles, what he could do is that he could opt in, and that would be $31 million that he would get for his opt-in clause. I believe that's what it is, $31 million, and he could stay in Golden State for that 1 year and rehab on their dime, and then he could leave for whatever, right? He could leave for whatever, or he can risk it. Most people say that he will get a max contract anyway. He can opt out and try to go sign with another team anyway. And then, of course, there's the option also of taking the max deal from Golden State, which looks to be that it would be a 5 year, $242 million deal, something like that. So he could he could take that deal from the Warriors as well. So he's got three options, and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't as none of us do, but I do think that it is now more wide open of what he can do. Because I would agree. I would agree that, especially if they would have won their third championship 3 and 4 years, he would have said he did what he did. He came there to do what he did, which was win championships, make the Warriors a dynasty, do all of that, prove that he is the best player in the world. He would have done that. And then he would have gone off and then maybe went somewhere else. Maybe went to New York, went to Brooklyn, maybe even LA. So, we have to see, what happens now that he's injured. What will he do? And I think his offseason is going to be very interesting. It's the and it starts so quickly too, because we just had the NBA Finals that happened Thursday. The draft the draft is next Thursday. I think on the 20th, right? That's when the draft come up. We got Zion more than likely going to the Pelicans. So we get the draft stuff happening, and then we got on June 30th, we've got free agency starting right away. And it's no longer at midnight. Now free agency happens at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So that's going to be something to totally look out for. What happens? And then there's a situation in New Orleans with AD, Anthony Davis. Because now the New Orleans Pelicans, if they want to trade Anthony Davis, they want to trade him before the draft. And they've been talking to the Lakers, they've been talking to the Celtics. That's what the reports are. And then there was also a report from Rich Paul, who said that they can trade him to the Celtics, but he won't sign a long-term deal there. He'll just be there for 1 year. And listen, Danny Ainge has been thinking he just saw what happened to the Raptors. He can do that. He would take what happens to get AD there and try to win that championship for that 1 year, and that could work. So it's going to be interesting. This you know the National Football League off season. It is no off season because the National Football League goes all year round, and now the NBA is becoming that way. It really is. The NBA is almost becoming that way where it's really only 1 month off, and that's September. So because you get all this stuff from June, July, and into August, and then September comes, and then you finally have a break. But then October happens, and then preseason starts, and then you're back in football. You're back in basketball mode. So this is going to be a really, really big off season. And again, I will be here to break down it all, to break down the trades, the signings, the draft picks. Like I said, the next show is coming in 2 weeks. So at that point, we'll break down what happened with the draft. We'll probably talk about any rumors, any trades that have happened, any rumors happening of where people are going. There's already a big rumor that since Kyrie Irving signed with Rock Nation, that he's going to go to the Brooklyn Nets, where Jay-Z had owned a piece of Brooklyn, and where the CEO of Rock Nation, his brother works for Brooklyn. So they are already putting two and two together with that. So we have so much stuff to happen, and it's going to be a fantastic offseason without question. I totally believe so. The NBA is going to be fun. It's going to be very, very fun. Um, we are almost in the way of football season 2. The most teams have ended their mandatory mini camps and they have let people out for summer vacation. But next month, most teams will be all the teams will be heading to training camp, and football season will be here. And it's going to be a great time. We're going to have a great season. Um, Again, I will be doing my as always, I will be doing my preseason picks that will come in August. I will be doing that for not only for the football league but for college football. So you're gonna make sure that you again go over to my YouTube channel because that's where I do it at, and so you're gonna have a fun time watching it. I truly believe you're gonna have a fun time as I go ahead and I go through all of that. Um, So yeah, Major League Baseball. Um, the biggest thing in Major League Baseball is the home runs. They are going to break the record for home runs this year without question. And everybody's talking about the ball being juiced. Is it the launch? Is it everybody going launch angle? Is it the ball being juiced? And I think it could be. It probably is more of the ball being juiced, but people are now really into this launch angle thing where they want you to swing upward so that you can hit more line drives. Hit more line drives. And as you hit more line drives, you should hit more home runs. And that's been the biggest thing over the last decade or so is this thing where they don't want a lot they don't want like hit the ball on the ground anymore. And they want you to they want you to hit line drives and I guess on one point I can understand that, but it also does turn it out now because now it's become a thing where now they have this thing where now three true outcomes, right? A strikeout, a walk, or a home run. And more players are becoming like that, where they either walk, they either strike out, or they either hit a home run. Here in Chicago, we have one in Kyle Schwarber, where that's seemingly that's all he does. He either walks, he hits a home run, or he strikes out. And then there's the whole thing with the shift, and there's the shift, a part of this, and then we get all the pitchers throwing harder. Every pitcher throws 98, 99. So, and then of course, like I said, they could just mention the ball being tight, the ball wound tight, and I agree with everybody. Like it says, I think without question, the ball is wound tighter than ever before, and it means that when the ball is just flying out of the ballpark. They were talking about out in Los Angeles, where that's been a notorious a pitcher's park. Balls are flying out at night. At night, you would ever see multiple home runs. From like 5 or 6 home runs. And they've done that many times this season. So, in Petco Park, maybe the biggest park out there for pitchers park, multiple home runs. So the ball being wound tighter, I think you can definitely see that. Sure, maybe launch angle has a theme to it, but definitely, without question, the ball is wound tight. So, before I go, I want to take a quick I want to take a quick um, um, talk about WWE. And we had Super Showdown which was okay. Although the Goldberg Undertaker match was very very underwhelming. And we have Stomping Grounds. So again, I want to let you know that if you are a huge wrestling fan, not only would I be talking about wrestling here on this podcast, but once again, I want to remind you that I have a wrestling show on my YouTube channel. It's called That's a Shoot. I do it every week. And in that show, I do something called Put Over and Bury, where I put over three things in the world of wrestling, which is I talk good about something. I bury three things in the world of wrestling, which means I critique or criticize three things in the world of wrestling. Then I have a main topic most of the time where I usually talk about something and I break it down or I do something with it, but there's a main topic. Sometimes on the bigger shows, I do previews. I do predictions and talk about something like that. And again, I have one up right now. So again, if there's a description box, the links, all those links will be down in that description box for you to go and check them out. My Twitch channel, my YouTube channel, and also the link to be able to support me here on Anchor. This was a great start. I think I loved this. Again, this is what I kind of wanted to do. I was able to get in the conversations that I wanted to talk about, and I didn't have to like rush through them. I was able to expound on them and break some of them down. So I really loved it, and this is why I'm so glad Anchor is around, and I'm so glad that they're able to allow me to be able to do a longer podcast if needed. So I appreciate this so much. I appreciate y'all for listening. Thank you guys so much. This is your boy AJ Tripp signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.